Hey guys, how we doing? I'm at it again. I tore into something else that was kind of rattling around inside my brain. I had a job that was supposed to be for this week that was a no-show, so I decided to play a little bit. And here's some of the aftermath, bits and pieces. What do you think that was? What do you think that was? And another pile on the floor. One of them. Went back to my junk pile that's already in the trailer 4 times. Dug some stuff out. Stuff like that. Ow. And went to go turn it in. Just something like that. I think I'm gonna go with making like a board track racer, old Indian style bicycle. James Freddy had mentioned it a couple months ago, and I did a funny you should mention that. I had an idea in my head. You guys remember that motor I took out, that Rio? That's going to be the drivetrain for it. It's a little on the fat side, but we'll get it in there. I'm going to have to cut my pedals and bring them out further so that the pedals will clear the side of the motor. The ones that they had for it are pretty much just air cooled from riding. It doesn't have this tin on it. I tried taking this stuff off, but there is just too much involved in that to remove all that. It's got a built-in fan that kind of comes up and goes across the head and cools it. So I'm just going to work with that. Basically, I just started with creating a rear rim, how I wanted to use for a drive. I went through a couple of different scenarios of what I wanted to use. One is this section belt. You can kind of take these apart like a bicycle chain, so to speak, and you can make a belt any size you want. Plus, you can run it through a section of frame if you have to. But kind of nixed that idea because I just couldn't find a rear pulley that was going to be large enough for that. And went in my scrap pile again. I have a belt scrap pile. Which you can see there's a few 100,000 of them. And this is an old serpentine belt I took off a car, and I figured I was going to go use that. The original 26-inch rim, and then I went to the trailer, the junk trailer. And first I started with that, I think it's a 20-inch rim right there. And I didn't like the size of it, so I went with a 24-inch rim. Laid them down on the bench over there, of course cut all the spokes out of it, and then try to figure out how to attach this rim to this rim. First I tried using the spokes that I cut out, was trying to tack them together, and they were too thin. It was just kind of burned away. I even tried using the TIG welder, but there just wasn't enough meat to do it. So I came up with a bright idea of going down my basement and seeing what I had for nails. Big thick, 10-penny nails or something. And while I was scrounging around, I found these things. I think they're for like holding up conduit and that kind of thing. So I went with those. There's a box of them over here. That's what I found in the basement. So I figured, what the hell, I'll go use those. They'll look pretty cool. So that's what I went with. I had it set up here, the bottom rim, and then I had it shimmed away with those guys in 3 places for the top loop. And then I spun it and had a tape measure coming off the center stud of the wheel out to that outer part of the rim, and just kept spinning it and kept tapping it until I got it right. I think it was at 10 inches. I had it dead nuts too. Before I did any of that, I trued up the rim to get the rim as straight as possible. Unfortunately, my welders were fighting me. That one was causing an issue. And I know, making excuses. I got it. It's not dead nuts, but it should work. It's probably out maybe 1/8 of an inch now. More slightly up and down. If you guys spin it, you probably won't even see it. See if we can get this to do. There we go. To give you an idea what we're working with. Not bad. I can do better though. I can make another one too if I find that it's going to cause me an issue. So that got my wheel all made up, and then I had to try to make space in the frame for it all to clear so that you can kind of see the hodgepodge of what I made here. I ended up just cutting this side right here and right here, and then bolting it back on, and then just kind of filling in the pieces afterwards. And this is just something out of my scrap pile that had a nice little bend to it, so I made it the width I want and cut it out of there, made a notch and came back to the original point. And then on the top one I had I couldn't find a piece of material that was kind of the same diameter, so I took the old stuff again and just heated it up with a MAP gas torch, and when it was hot I would just stick a wrench on it and kind of bend it to what I wanted. Inside here there's a bolt, there's a split right here, you can see it. There's a bolt on the inside, just cut the head off, and there's a bolt going that way and that way to kind of tie the two of them together. And then again, just heated it up, bent it. This had like an outward bow to it, had to kind of straighten the bow out, get it straight, and then kick back to where you see here. And of course, after I kicked it out, there was a loss of material. So what you see here is a 1/4 inch drive socket welded in its place out of my scrap pile. I wanted something thick. This stuff has really got a nice thick wall to it. Old bike, that's how thick it is. So it's got some heavy stuff to it, you know. Don't know why the bike is so heavy. So that's what we're gonna go with so far. It seems like it's got plenty of clearance for everything. The next step is going to try to figure out where I want to mount the motor, how I'm going to get it in location, and probably what I'm going to go do is have the belt kind of come up to the motor and have like a idler pulley on the bottom of it that you draw in, and that would turn the motor on and off on the bike. Thinking, I'm not sure if I like the handlebars like that. I may flip them back and make them longer. I have a feeling I'm going to end up cutting the front of the bike and extending that space. Cut it, you know, here and here at the neck, something. I'm going to make it longer, give a little bit more room for the motor, and kick the seat probably back over the back a little further, and extend my handlebars probably about that much. And I think I might flip them back over the other way, not sure. We'll see. I kind of do it, you know, as you can see, I draw nothing down. I just kind of start putting stuff up to it, and rarely I put a tape measure to it. I just kind of put the pieces up to it, mark it with a marker, cut it, stick it in there and weld it. That's kind of how I operate. So there's another one to watch get put back together, and I think this one's going to come out pretty cool. It's an actual Schwinn. It's an old, you know, I think 50s Schwinn bike. It does have the Chicago thing on it. I was leery about cutting it up, saying, you know, I really shouldn't do that, and then I said, screw it, it's mine, I'll do whatever I want with it. It's either that one or this one, and I figured to make a gas tank for this one might be a little harder because it's got, this one has like 4 tubes on the front of it. So now that I had to do it again, I think I actually might, I probably would have went with this bike, because what I could have done was I could actually have taken these guys, spread them way out, cut them and opened it up. It actually made this the gas tank itself. I could have welded 4 pieces of metal right around it and then closed this and then cap off the end. Would have made a neat gas tank. Oh well. This is a Sears Space Liner, I think it's called, but it's in rough shape. This it does have like a kind of Springer front end, so I might steal that for that bike. What else we got going on? The bike you see up on the lift there, the Schwinn that I'm working with, I bought it at a yard sale. I think I paid 35 bucks for it, and it had this kicker motor on it. I had it running with this thing, but they kind of suck. The problem with them is if the tire is wet at all, it just starts spinning like crazy. So, and it wasn't very fast. Probably did about 17 miles an hour. So I'll probably just stuff that away, or I'll put that on Craigslist for a few bucks. Paint guys. Well, Northern boy, I know you're gonna know what these are. If I can get in. Where are they? That is the drawer. the drawer. These guys. Can you identify this thing for me? Let's see a good shot of it. It's a Binks 95. I don't know what this would be used for. There's no handle or anything attached to it. I don't know if it goes in like an automated paint booth or something like that, and it would just be the paint head. Not sure. As I said, I have 2 of these, but I don't have an idea what I would use them for. Been in my stash forever. And that's all, folks.